Hi, I'm Kerry Grinkmeyer. I'm the host of Best of Us Investors. I am a retired financial advisor. I was the guy from Ameriprise that you would go and sit down with and say, we need to do some financial planning. And I'd say, well, give me all your money and I'll help you create a portfolio and I'll sell you some insurance, both life insurance and long-term care insurance. And then I'll help you set up a college investment program for your children, a retirement program, and we'll put you in mutual funds and ETFs and help you achieve your financial goals. And I was very proud of the work I did. I specialized actually in estate planning. I sought out the people who had already made money and wanted to work on how to keep more of what they make. And that was what I did. I built one of the largest financial planning practices within the Ameriprise system, and then I sold it in 2005. I'm now invest entirely different. I do my own financial planning. I have my insurance, I have my long-term care insurance, but I make most of my money these days off of the return on an investment on the portfolio that I have, which is in the range of between $1 million and $1.5 million. So with that in mind, I look at my portfolio periodically and say what's performing well and what's not. My investment philosophy is, though, very strictly invest in the future. And I hold 50% of my holdings in 6 companies, and that's Apple, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Facebook, and Tesla, because I think those are the companies that have the money, that have the talent, and will lead us into the future. What I then do is look for the small companies that eventually these behemoths will buy. And I focus on those areas where I think the biggest change is going to happen in our lives over the next 5 to 10 years, even the next 2 to 3 years. And my drive has been of late that of biotech and 3D printing and robotics. And all of these are based on my belief that the most important event that happened in my life relative to investing in the future was the coronavirus. It brought our economies to our knees. It made every leader of every country and every company say the same words. This can never happen again. And in order for this to never happen again, we've got to change a broken healthcare system and a broken manufacturing system. So that's where I invest. This weekend, I'm looking at my portfolio and I'm saying, where's my biggest losers? And my biggest loser is a company by the name of Invitae. I bought it actually in, February the 12th. I bought 300 shares at $41.30, and today it's at $26.09, so I'm down 36% on it. So my philosophy is it's never shameful to sell a loser. And what I want to go into today in this video is my analysis of Invitae and why I am or I'm not going to sell it, and what my future actions on it will be. So that's the way I invest. That's who I am. If that's the way you want to invest, I am not a place for swing traders or day traders. I look into the future and ask myself, I guess the question I ask is, who are my big 6, where I hold for 50%, who are they going to buy next? Okay, and that's how I invest. So I'm not your financial advisor, although I was one, but that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to educate and to entertain you. So let me get this disclaimer out of the way, and we'll look in depth at Invitae.
Best of Us Investors presents Carrie Grinkmeyer.
Invitae is probably not a company that you're familiar with unless you were back around March the 12th when I bought it, and I shared my take on it with my tribe at that time. Invitae is a company that is in the medical field, and it basically is structured such that they're trying to put the pieces of the changes that are happening in our medical field together to be a major player in helping you determine through genetics and through protein sequencing what's going on in your body, and being a hub. Right now, the driving forces are genome sequencing, genome editing, protein sequencing, protein editing, and then the therapies that are being developed by the genome companies, the CRISPR companies, that are going to provide the therapies for you. What Invitae is trying to do is become the catalyst that brings these things together and delivers the information to your healthcare giver or to you. One of the things that stimulated me to look at this right now is one of my tribe members said, Carrie, this is an article you need to look at. It's relative to one of the stocks that you and I own, meaning Invitae, and it's buying or it's proposing. There is a proposed merger or talk of a merger with Exact Science. Now, again, this is probably a name that you and I are not familiar with, except if you watch TV, you've seen this little animated guy running around and talking about Cologuard. Cologuard is what I call poop in a box. For those of us who are of age, we know what a colonostomy is. It's probably one of the most unpleasant experiences that you will ever have in your life, if in fact you have that experience in your life. It's where they put you to sleep and put up a probe up your rectum, and basically, well, the worst part of it is the night before, when you have to flush your rectum and flush everything in you so that it's clean. And then they go up with a camera and look for little nodes or cancerous tumors or whatever in your small and large intestine. And in the recent years, Cologuard has created what I call poop in a box, where they just send you a box and you sit down and you poop into it, and then you send it back to them, and then they use a form of genome sequencing to find out if you have cancer or if you have nodes in your intestine. So what Invitae specializes in is providing tests for cancer and other diseases. So Cologuard is the first FDA approved means of testing for any form of cancer at this point. So they see this, although Cologuard is a larger company than Invitae, Invitae is trying to position themselves to buy Cologuard and bring that into their arsenal. I see this as relative to some other companies that I have talked to my tribe about, and that is Mammoth and Sherlock, two companies who are working to use CRISPR as a means by which you could go to the drugstore, your Walgreens, your CVS, and buy a kit or have it prescribed by your insurance company that you could test just by breaking two vials and spitting into it, and it would test you for, maybe you got to poop into it too, I don't know, but that the Sherlock and Mammoth are going at it this way. Sherlock and Mammoth are probably further down in the time frame further out than what I think Invate and Exact Sciences are trying to do. I just see that if you went to your doctor right now and said, I'm concerned about cancer and I would like to have my genome sequenced, which is happening more and more, and that's evidenced by some of the other stocks that I own that are going up now because it is becoming top of mind. But if you did that, your doctor would contact the head of his department and say, hey, Carrie and Nita want to have their genome sequenced. How can we get that done? I would guess that for 90% of the health facilities in the United States right now and the world, as far as that goes, they would say, we don't have the capability. We do not have a genome sequencing machine in our clinic here. So we need to farm that out to somebody. So in other words, someone would give them the test and they would then send it to someone, and that's Invate, and Invate would read that test. They are already collaborating with Pacific Bioscience, and so they would be the one that would be putting this together for you. So I see Invate, although I'm down 36% in it, is probably someone who is going to be a leader in the early stages of genome sequencing, genome testing, and then genome therapy. Because once Invate does this testing, they're going to come back to your doctor, my doctor, and say, okay, Kerry has in his genome, he has a propensity for cancer. And I know that's the case because my mother died of cancer, my father died of cancer, and my daughter died of cancer. And I suspect my grandfathers died of cancer. I didn't really know them. So then Kerry would say, okay, what are we going to do about this? And then that's going to be dependent on companies like Editus, like CRISPR, and other companies that are developing the CRISPR therapies that are going to go into my body and correct the genome malformation to take that cancer out of my body. Because you need to understand that our body was okay, but we screwed it up along the way. And I don't mean us individually, I mean our ancestors did by the way they ate, the way they bred. Our genome got screwed up. And our body is built to take care of problems such as, and the easiest way for me to understand that is when I cut myself, when I fell and scraped my knee and busted my hand up, in a matter of 2 weeks, it's scabbed over and it's taken care of itself. Well, that's the CRISPR in my body, basically taking care of problems. What cancer and Alzheimer's and heart disease and most of the genetic diseases that we have, it's just a mutation that has taken over generations that make us susceptible to these diseases. And what CRISPR does is you're basically putting a needle in your arm and you're attaching a cassette, if you will, to the CRISPR so it can go and kill or kill any cancer that's there and put the genome back in place so that cancer is not in your body any further. The crazy thing about it is they'll also be able to do that in eggs and sperm, and eventually there will be no genomic diseases. Where I'm at with Invate. As I said, I'm down 36%. I bought it at 41, and it's currently at 26. My take on this is I think it's as low as it's going to go. So do I add to it? I think I do. Because I think they are positioning themselves to be, I don't know if you want to call it the hub of for practitioners and for people, patients, to find out what's going on in my body and how can I go about fixing it. Somebody's got to bring this all together, okay? And I think Invitae is putting themselves in a position to do that. So that's my take on Invitae. That's my take on truly how I manage my portfolio. It is a very large source of income for me. I expect somewhere around a 40% return on investment this year. Last year I got a 60%, but that was because I bought right into the dip caused by the coronavirus. But what I'm doing now, and I want to reiterate what I said earlier, 50% of my portfolio is in those companies that I think are going to buy Invitae eventually. And that's Apple, Google, Amazon, Facebook. Facebook probably won't buy it, but the behemoths. But until we get there, somebody's got to develop the technology. Somebody's got to put the effort and the work in place to make our healthcare system work properly. I think the way I like to think about it is today, if I go to my doctor and say I got such and such, he's going to treat whatever the condition is, and he'll do it with some form of drug, pharmaceutical drug. He'll treat the condition. What we're going towards is he will cure the condition. He will use CRISPR. He will use targeted T-cell therapy, and they will cure the issue. Chemotherapy will be a thing of the past. Radiation will be a thing of the past. That's treatment. Both radiation and chemotherapy are geared towards, it's war. We're going to go in there and kill that cancer. No, in the future, we're going to go in and eliminate it. We're going to take it out of the system and you will be cured. So that's what I want to invest in. I just watched another video with Robert Sinclair, who wrote a book that I believe very strongly in called Lifespan, and talking about how we as individuals can manage our bodies to make us live longer. And that's through diet and exercise and supplements and things of that nature. But this is, and that's all well and good, and I do practice that, but this is the next step. And I want you to recognize this would have happened if we hadn't had the coronavirus, but it's going to happen a hell of a lot faster, and it's going to happen even faster than it was going to because of the Delta variant. And trust me, the Delta variant isn't the last variant. There are people who are working day and night in this field to give you a better life. And if you're smart, you'll invest in them. Because, again, trust me, this is bigger than the digital revolution. The internet's wonderful. It's very convenient. It makes life easy. But what I'm talking about is life itself. Living longer, living healthier, being more productive. And that's what I invest in. So I'll be adding to my Invitae. And I'll probably be using Cologuard in the near future. All right. That's my take on Invitae. And if you'd like to be a part of this kind of thinking, join our tribe. I wrote a book about it. It's in the description. And go to Best of Us Investors and give me your email address and your name, and I'll send you an invitation to come join our tribe. All our tribe is a bunch of like-minded people who are trying to make good investment decisions collectively. We're collaborating. Talk to you again tomorrow.